Hello, everyone. The persuasive speech I'll be talking about is childhood obesity. United States is going through quite a bit of social issues that could be social problems. Childhood obesity is one of the top five social problems facing the United States today. Uh, and childhood obesity is so much interconnected with many other social problems. It is so urgent and it's so important that President Obama called it one of the most urgent health issues facing the country. And because it's very important, President Obama even has a obesity task force. First Lady also made it one of her primary combating causes, and she reminded us that in the past 3 decades, uh, childhood obesity has tripled. One third of the children in the United States are obese or overweight. Uh, 17% of children and teenagers between the ages of 2 to 17 were obese from 2011 to 2012. More than 1 in 12 children are obese between the ages of 2 and 5. These numbers are continuing to rise, although children has fewer health problems related to their weight than adults, but chances of getting medical problem is rising as the number of obese children are rising. Children obesity, if not reversed and if not talked about, is so important that today's children going to be the first generation who will live shorter than their parents do. And that's because if not treated, they will have very serious health issues in their adulthood. This childhood obesity is the health problems are not the only thing that obese children are facing. When analysis from 5,700 women found that women who experienced physical or sexual abuse as a child were twice as likely to be addicted to food or obese. Children with obesity also has to face many other social problems in society, being called names and even physical abuse is common among children who are obese. And there are many factors that play roles in making a child obese. The most common causes are unhealthy food, lack of physical activity, and genetic also plays a role in obesity. And sometimes a combination of these issues, these problems, makes a child obese. Another factor that plays a role in childhood obesity is in some areas is called food desert. Food desert, approximately 17.8% of Americans live in food deserts. And in these food deserts area and towns, uh, poor people live and they cannot afford healthy food. They cannot afford vegetables and fruits. They cannot afford to go buy a grocery, but since going to a fast food is much cheaper than buying healthier food, they just go to a fast food and buy food for themselves and their children. And this play a very significant role in making children obese in those areas. And because these childhood obesity is so urgent and so important as threatening the life of the future generation, uh, I encourage to the parents and government and the private sectors to take some steps to do something about it. But the first thing that we can do about childhood obesity is encouraging parents in particular matters to react properly to the fullness and hunger of their children. Parents also has to enroll their children in school activities, although one of the researchers that were conducted by the President's Task Force found that only 3.8% of elementary schools and 7.9% of middle schools and 2.1% of high schools provide daily physical education, which is not enough, and there has to be done a lot about it to bring physical activity more to schools. Parents also has a very big responsibility to play their part in helping their obese children. An average American home TV is on for about 7 hours a day, which means less physical activity for the children and less physical activity for the parents. And for that, I blame parents, and I think they has to do something about it. Providing healthy food is a key factor in preventing childhood obesity. Changing in eating habits within the families are very important also. And as I mentioned earlier, that 17.8% of Americans live in areas called food deserts, and there has to be done something about it. The government with private sectors, and they have to invest more in healthier food to provide healthier food for the people. Getting rid of the food deserts can play a very significant role in getting rid of obesity in the United States. These are some of the problems that we are facing because of the childhood obesity, and some of the solutions that I suggested. And I think childhood obesity is so important that if we don't do anything about it, it's threatening the life of the future generation. Thank you for watching. Bye, and see you in the class.